the silent danger in your vitamin cabinet. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever woken up feeling dizzy, like the room is spinning, or noticed your speech slurring just for a second, but told yourself, it's just age? What if I told you that what's really causing that isn't age, but a tiny pill sitting quietly in your medicine cabinet? I've been a neurologist for over 30 years. I've treated thousands of stroke patients, veterans, teachers, grandmothers who used to dance every Friday night. And many of them had no idea they were setting themselves up for a brain attack with vitamins they thought were keeping them safe. You see, the American supplement industry is worth over $50 billion. That's 50. And yet, millions of older adults are swallowing pills every morning without knowing how those pills might raise their blood pressure, thicken their blood, or silently build pressure inside their skull. This is not fear-mongering. This is science, and it's personal. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain. I'll reveal 5 common vitamins that can quietly raise your risk of stroke, especially if you're over 60, and I'll share what to take instead to protect your brain the right way. If you've ever felt off balance, confused, or not quite yourself, comment the number 1 below. If you've never felt that way, type 0. I want to know who I'm talking to. And if this message speaks to your heart, please subscribe and turn on the bell. Your brain deserves better. Number 1, the vitamin that hardens your arteries. While you sleep, let's start with the one that shocked me the most. Vitamin D, yes, the sunshine vitamin. The one every headline says you need for strong bones and a better mood. But let me be very clear. For older adults, too much vitamin D, especially taken at night, can quietly turn your bloodstream into a trap. I remember a patient, George, 72 years old, retired firefighter, played pickleball every Thursday. Every morning, like clockwork, he took his 10,000 IU vitamin D pill with a glass of orange juice. He thought he was being responsible, until the day his wife found him on the kitchen floor, confused, slurred speech, his right hand curled in like a claw. It was a silent stroke. When we ran his labs, his calcium levels were dangerously high. His arteries were stiff. Blood vessels in his brain were under enormous pressure. What caused it? Vitamin D toxicity. Here's what no one tells you. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption. That's great if you're deficient and monitored, but if you're already getting enough from food, sunlight, or fortified milk, extra vitamin D can flood your blood with calcium. Now your body has a problem. It doesn't know where to put all that calcium, so it starts depositing it into your arteries, hardening them, narrowing them, making them brittle like old copper pipes. Then you go to sleep. Overnight, your blood pressure rises naturally. That's what the body does. But with stiff arteries and dehydrated blood, one small vessel can rupture or clog. Just like that, you wake up with a stroke. Or maybe you don't wake up at all. This is not rare. A study from the Journal of the American Medical Association in 2022 found that more than 27% of seniors taking high-dose vitamin D showed signs of arterial calcification, that is, hardened, narrowed blood vessels. Let me say that again. 1 in every 4 older adults taking too much vitamin D may be quietly damaging their arteries, and no one is warning them. Now, here's what I want you to remember. If you're taking more than 2,000 IU per day and you are not vitamin D deficient, your brain might be paying the price. And never, I repeat, never take vitamin D at night. Your heart and brain work hardest in the early hours of the morning. That's the worst time to flood them with calcium. Take it in the morning. After food, and have your blood levels checked regularly. We're not here to create fear. We're here to create awareness, because once you know better, you can live better. Have you, or someone you know, been taking high-dose vitamin D without knowing your blood levels? Comment yes, if that's you, or no, if you've been checking regularly. Let's talk about it in the comments. Up next, we're looking at a supplement that sounds heart-healthy, but can actually trigger brain bleeding when mixed with common medications. You need to hear this. Number 2, vitamin E, the heart helper that can trigger brain bleeds. let's talk about a supplement that's been marketed for decades as the heart's best friend, vitamin E. You'll see it on the front of bottles that say supports circulation, protects cells, immune booster. But for people over 60, especially those taking medications like aspirin, Plavix, or blood thinners, vitamin E can be like throwing gasoline on a fire. Here's the truth. Most companies won't tell you vitamin E is a natural anticoagulant. That means it thins your blood. Now, that sounds helpful, right? Especially if you're trying to prevent blood clots or stroke. But blood needs balance. It must flow easily, but it also must clot fast enough to stop a bleed if something goes wrong. When you're over 60, your blood vessels are no longer as elastic. The tiny capillaries in your brain, some thinner than a strand of hair, can rupture under pressure or trauma. And if your blood is too thin, that rupture doesn't stop. That's when brain bleeding starts, not from a car accident, not from high blood pressure, but from the inside, silently, the problem. Many Americans are combining vitamin E with other blood-thinning medications every single day without ever talking to their doctor, and they have no idea how dangerous that cocktail can be. Let's look at the numbers. The recommended daily intake of vitamin E for adults over 60 is just 15 milligrams, or about 22 international units. But walk into any store, and you'll see supplements with 200, 400, even 1,000 IU per pill. That's 10 to 50 times the amount your body actually needs. And the body doesn't just flush it out like vitamin C. Vitamin E builds up in your tissues, especially your fat stores, and over time, even a natural dose can lead to imbalances. The danger isn't just the number, it's the combination. Vitamin E plus warfarin, vitamin E plus aspirin, vitamin E plus omega-3 fish oil. It all stacks up, and most people have no clue how these things interact. You may be trying to do the right thing, lower your stroke risk, support your heart, but what you're actually doing is setting up a fragile system for failure. Because the brain doesn't get second chances. A bleed inside your brain can lead to slurred speech, paralysis, memory loss, or worse, and it can happen overnight. No warning, no pain, just silence, followed by a devastating change in who you are. That's why the American Heart Association and the Mayo Clinic both recommend extreme caution when combining vitamin E's with any anticoagulant therapy. And yet, millions of older adults take both, every single day, without knowing the risk. Here's the bottom line. If you're over 60 and taking vitamin E supplements, check the label. Is it over 50 IU? Are you also taking medications that thin your blood? Talk to your doctor, because once bleeding starts in the brain, there's no rewind button. This isn't just about vitamins. This is about protecting your independence, your ability to talk, to think, to walk into your grandchild's graduation with your head held high. If you're serious about living long and living strong, this is where it starts. Leave a comment with the word clarity if you've ever taken vitamin E without checking for interactions. In the next section, we'll talk about a vitamin that many seniors take for energy and nerves, but can slowly damage your balance, coordination, and even your brain itself. Number 3, vitamin B6, the nerve support that can steal your balance. Let's move on to a vitamin that's sold in nearly every senior support bottle on the market. Vitamin B6. It's marketed as a nerve protector, an energy booster, a brain supporter. But if you're over 60, taking B6 without supervision could slowly chip away at your coordination, your reflexes, and even your ability to walk unassisted. Let's get this straight. Vitamin B6 is essential. Yes, it plays a role in producing neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers of the brain. It supports metabolism, red blood cell production, even immune function. But more is not better. B6 is a water-soluble vitamin, but unlike vitamin C, which flushes easily, B6 can accumulate in the body when taken in high doses over time. And this is where the problem begins. High levels of vitamin B6, especially above 100 milligrams per day, can become toxic to the nervous system. Not immediately, but slowly, quietly, week after week. The damage usually starts in the sensory nerves, You begin to lose feeling in your feet, a slight tingling, a subtle numbness, then maybe a sense that you're stepping on cotton or walking on pebbles. Most seniors shrug it off. It's age, they say, or arthritis, or circulation. But in many cases, it's vitamin-induced neurotoxicity, and it gets worse, because as the nerves continue to degrade, balance falters, muscles weaken, reaction time slows, the risk of falling doubles. Memory may even start to blur, not from Alzheimer's, but from a misfiring nervous system. According to the National Institutes of Health, chronic use of high-dose B6, anything over 50 milligrams daily, has been linked to nerve damage in older adults. And yet, most brain support or nerve health supplements sold online or over-the-counter contain 100 to 200 milligrams per serving, often hidden under names like NeuroBoost, Circulation Formula, or Senior Vitality. Here's the real danger. Most seniors are already on multiple medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, the kidneys, which help process B6 may already be working harder than they should. The margin for safety shrinks. And still, the labels say natural. The websites promise mental clarity or nerve repair. But no one's telling you that your wobbly steps, your hand tremors, your early confusion might not be age. They might be toxic. What should you do? Simple check your labels. If you see vitamin B6 over 10 milligrams in a supplement, especially if you're taking more than one pill per day, pause, ask your doctor, get your B6 levels checked. It's a simple blood test. If you're low, the solution is easy. If you're high, the damage may be reversible if caught early. And above all, remember this. The goal is not just to survive aging, it's to stay sharp, steady, and strong while doing it. No vitamin is worth trading your balance or your independence. If you've ever taken a nerve support supplement and felt more dizzy or less stable, type steady in the comments below. In the next part, we're going to uncover a vitamin that's marketed for better vision, but can silently raise the pressure inside your brain to dangerous levels. Number 4. Vitamin A, the vision pill that may be pressuring your brain. Now, let's talk about a vitamin that's often seen as completely innocent. The one you think protects your eyesight, supports your immune system, keeps your skin healthy. Vitamin A sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. Most people don't know in older adults. Vitamin A, especially when taken in high doses over time, can silently build pressure inside your skull. And that's not just a headache. It mimics the early signs of a stroke. Let me break it down. Vitamin A is fat-soluble, unlike B vitamins or vitamin C. It doesn't flush out easily. It stores in the liver, builds up in body tissues, and over time can reach toxic levels. In people over 60, this is a major issue. Why? Because as we age, liver function slows down. The body's ability to process and clear excess vitamin A becomes weaker. That means a daily pill you think is helping your eyes might be quietly suffocating your brain. One of the most dangerous conditions linked to excess vitamin A is intracranial hypertension, also known as pseudotumor cerebri. It's a condition where pressure builds inside the skull, not because of a tumor, but because the spinal fluid can't drain properly. Symptoms blurred or double vision. Headaches that feel like pounding from the inside. Nausea, dizziness, memory fog, and in advanced cases, permanent vision loss or balance dysfunction. Now, here's where things get scary. These symptoms don't always show up fast. They creep in. A headache that won't go away. A moment of blurred vision. A dizzy spell when you stand up. Most seniors think it's just age. But in truth, your brain may be signaling that the pressure is building day by day, silently. The American Academy of Neurology has warned about chronic hypervitaminosis, A, and according to a report from Harvard Health Publishing, doses above 10,000 IU per day over time can lead to serious side effects, especially in the elderly. And yet, many multivitamins, eye health supplements, and anti-aging formulas contain retinol-based vitamin A, the most easily absorbed and most easily toxic form. Combine that with a liver that's working slower, and the equation is dangerous. And let's be honest, most people never track how much vitamin A they're taking. It's in their multivitamin, it's in fortified milk, it's in vision gummies, it's in skin health blends. Day after day, the safe upper limit for adults is about 3,000 micrograms, which equals 10,000 IU. And that's a maximum, not a goal. For seniors, the optimal range is often much lower, but no one tells you that. Until the symptoms appear, until the brain starts struggling to handle that pressure. So, what can you do? Check your labels. If your supplement lists vitamin A as retinol or retinol palmitate, be cautious. These are the most potent forms. Add up your daily intake from food, multivitamins, special supplements, and if you're experiencing headaches, vision changes, or morning dizziness, talk to your doctor about testing your vitamin A levels and checking for signs of intracranial pressure. Because the last thing your brain needs is an invisible force pressing down on it day after day. This isn't about fear. It's about control. You have a right to live sharp, focused, and free from silent threats. If you've ever taken supplements for your eyes or skin and never checked how much vitamin A you're consuming, drop the word vision in the comments. In the next section, we're uncovering a vitamin that sneaks into many heart-healthy products and may silently spike your blood pressure without warning. Number 5, niacin, the cholesterol pill that can strain your brain. Let's talk about a vitamin that shows up everywhere in the heart health aisle. Niacin, also known as vitamin B3. It's praised for its ability to lower cholesterol, support circulation, and improve blood flow. But what almost no one tells you is that niacin, especially in high doses, can become a ticking time bomb for your blood vessels. And if you're over 60, that risk gets even more dangerous. Here's how it works. Niacin causes vasodilation. That means it widens your blood vessels. That's why many people who take it feel a sudden flush in the face, a pounding heartbeat, or a warm rush through the chest. It sounds like it's working, right? But here's the part most supplement companies leave out. After that flush, let your blood vessels snap back, they constrict, and that rebound can lead to sudden spikes in blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and dangerous drops in blood flow to the brain. This back and forth effect, expand, constrict, expand, constrict, puts enormous stress on older arteries, especially if they're already stiff or partially clogged. And remember, in people over 60, arteries don't bounce back like they used to. One sharp constriction, and a vessel can tear or clot. That's how a transient ischemic attack TIA happens. That's how a stroke begins. The irony? You thought niacin was protecting your heart, but it may be putting your brain at risk. According to the Cleveland Clinic, doses over 500 milligrams per day of niacin can increase the risk of liver damage, insulin resistance, and cardiovascular complications in older adults. Many over-the-counter heart support supplements contain 1,000 milligrams or more of niacin per serving, and they're often taken twice daily. And because it's labeled vitamin, people assume it's safe. But in high doses, niacin acts more like a drug than a vitamin. It affects your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and even your brain's oxygen supply. And here's the kicker. It's not just niacin itself, it's the form and timing. Flush-free niacin, extended-release niacin, fast-release niacin. Each one interacts differently with your body. And most people, especially seniors, have no idea which form they're taking or what it's doing inside their arteries. On top of that, niacin is often combined with other ingredients, omega-3s, plant sterols, red yeast rice, which can amplify its effects and make blood pressure harder to control. So, what's the takeaway? If you're taking a supplement for cholesterol or heart health, flip the bottle around. Look for the word niacin and check the dose. If it's over 50 milligrams, don't assume it's harmless. Talk to your doctor, especially if you've experienced facial flushing, pounding headaches, chest tightness, or early morning dizziness. These are not just aging. These are signs your blood vessels are under attack, and your brain could be the next victim. If you've ever taken niacin and felt flushed, dizzy, or had strange pressure in your head or chest, type "aware" in the comments. In the next section, we shift away from danger and focus on what to eat instead, the real foods that nourish your brain, stabilize blood pressure, and protect your memory without the side effects. Number 6. What to eat instead, real foods that nourish your brain. Without the risk. Let's take a deep breath. We've spent the last few chapters uncovering the hidden dangers behind some of the most common vitamins sitting in our cabinets. And if you're feeling shocked, worried, or even betrayed, you're not alone. But I don't want you to live in fear. I want you to live in clarity. So, let me tell you what I tell every patient who walks into my clinic. Your body was not built to depend on pills. It was built to thrive on food, real food, not artificial formulas, not mega-dose capsules, not internet shortcuts. Food is medicine. And for people over 60, the right foods can do more for your brain than any bottle ever could. Let's start with morning nutrition. Most strokes happen between 4 a.m. and 9 a.m. when blood pressure is naturally higher and your brain is most vulnerable. That means what you put into your body when you wake up matters more than most people think. Skip the sugary cereal. Forget the vitamin-loaded energy bar. Instead, start with this simple plate. 1 boiled egg, a clean, complete source of protein and choline for brain signaling. Half an avocado, full of healthy fats and potassium to relax your blood vessels. 1 slice of whole grain toast for slow-digesting carbs to fuel your brain steadily. A handful of blueberries, rich in polyphenols that protect brain cells from oxidative stress. Room temperature water to hydrate your system after a night of natural dehydration. This is a real breakfast. It's not fancy, it's not expensive, but it works with your biology, not against it. Now let's talk about foods to rotate throughout the week that naturally provide the nutrients you've been trying to get from pills. 1. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard. Rich in folate, magnesium, and antioxidants. These support memory, reduce inflammation, and help regulate blood flow. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach provides over 260 micrograms of folate, enough to support DNA repair and cognitive resilience. 2. Fatty fish salmon, mackerel, sardines, packed with omega-3s. These protect the lining of your blood vessels and reduce the stickiness of your platelets, which means lower clot risk. Aim for 2 to 3 servings per week. A 3-ounce fillet of wild-caught salmon delivers around 2,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, enough to calm inflammation in the brain. 3. Nuts and seeds, walnuts, flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, excellent sources of vitamin E, magnesium, and plant-based fats. But unlike pills, the vitamin E in food comes in balanced but safe doses. Just 1 ounce of walnuts provides about 2.6 milligrams of vitamin E and a healthy dose of alpha-linolenic acid ALA, a plant-based omega-3. 4. Berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These aren't just delicious, they're protective. Berries are loaded with anthocyanins, compounds that improve blood flow to the brain and may slow cognitive decline. A 2020 study from Tufts University found that seniors who ate 1/2 cup of blueberries daily showed better memory and attention over 12 weeks. 5. Whole grains, oats, brown rice, quinoa. These stabilize blood sugar, which is essential for brain energy. Spikes and crashes in glucose levels don't just make you tired, they reduce mental clarity and increase the risk of microvascular damage. Choose grains with fiber, at least 3 grams per serving, and avoid the white, processed stuff. 6. Beets and pomegranate. Both support nitric oxide production, which helps expand blood vessels and reduce pressure in the brain. Drinking 1/2 cup of pomegranate juice or adding roasted beets to your salad twice a week can boost circulation naturally. 7. Water. Yes, water. The brain is 75% water. Even mild dehydration, as little as 2% loss of body fluids, can impair memory and mood. Older adults often lose their thirst signal, So, sipping water slowly throughout the morning is key to protecting brain function. You see the pattern here? Real food delivers vitamins in a form your body recognizes, with fiber, enzymes, and cofactors that work in harmony. Supplements. They isolate, they concentrate, they amplify. That's not always a good thing, especially when your liver, kidneys, and blood vessels are no longer 25 years old. So here's the better plan. Don't stop living. Just stop outsourcing your health to plastic bottles. Trust your plate, trust the rhythm of real food, and most importantly, trust that your body, even in its 60s, 70s, or 80s, knows how to heal if you give it the tools. If you're ready to rebuild your brain from the inside out, leave the word reset in the comments. In the next and final section, I'm going to give you the most important message of all: why awareness, not anxiety, is the medicine that saves lives after 60. The final wake-up call: awareness, not fear, is the medicine. If you've made it this far, you're not just watching another video. You're someone who's ready to take back control. And let me say this to you, not as a doctor, but as someone who has walked with patients through their darkest hours. You deserve a healthy brain. You deserve to speak clearly, to move steadily, to remember birthdays, stories, laughter, the names of the people you love. But none of that happens by accident. It happens because you choose awareness over autopilot, because you stop letting marketing slogans tell you what your body needs, because you begin to listen to your own signals, the dizziness, the forgetfulness, the tightness in your chest, not as random aging, but as messages worth hearing. I've spent 30 years in hospital rooms where patients whispered, "I didn't know," where spouses cried, "We thought it was just vitamins," where children asked me, "Will my dad come back from this?" And the truth is, sometimes yes, but too often, no. The difference not luck, not money, not genetics, but awareness, the willingness to ask questions, to read labels, to change course even when it's uncomfortable, to trust food over formulas, to trust your body again. Because after 60, your body speaks more honestly than ever. It just whispers now instead of shouting. And if you ignore the whisper, someday you might wake up to silence. So, today, if this video helped open your eyes, don't keep that to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. Because too many people over 60 are still walking toward stroke, memory loss, or sudden falls. Not because they're careless, but because no one ever told them the truth. Now you know, and with that knowledge, you can live differently. So here's my challenge to you. Leave a comment below with one thing you're going to change starting tomorrow. Type the word awake if this message helped you see something you didn't see before. Share this with a friend, a sibling, a neighbor, someone else who deserves a brain that works, a heart that beats steady, and a life that still feels like their own. If you're not subscribed yet, I hope you'll hit that button. Not because it helps the channel, but because it keeps you connected to the truth your body deserves. We're not here to sell pills. We're here to spark power. To help people over 60 live long, live strong, and live well without fear. I'll see you in the next video where we talk about the 4 foods that quietly shrink brain tissue if eaten after 6 p.m. You won't want to miss that. Until then, be gentle with yourself, be sharp with your choices, and never stop believing that your best health chapter can still be ahead.